Good morning, guys. All right, so we've got actually a bunch of gappers today. The most notable ones are the shipping stocks like DCIX, TPOS, DRYS. There's also TripAdvisor gapping up a pretty substantial amount from 38.78 all the way to 46.10. There's ZAGG gapping up from 11.50 to 13.51. There's TRXC gapping up from 183 to 209. Like I said, there's also TOPS, DRYS in the shipping stock land. ICHR gapping up from 23.93 to 25.25. OGEN gapping up from 159 to 172. And then ARWR is the last gapper I'm kind of watching, moving up from 775 to 830. Also keeping an eye on EXTR, pretty big substantial gap down from 1175 all the way to 830. So we've actually got a lot of decent movement. The shipping stocks are probably the biggest movers, I would say. You can see here is DCIX, which is usually the alpha shipping stock. It's usually the one I trade the most. And so keeping an eye on these. Really I like them for a short, but we'll see what happens with it. Hopefully a decent amount of these are tradable on TradeNet. Let's see. Oh, they took DCIX off of TradeNet? How ridiculous. That's legitimately frustrating. It used to be tradable. They removed it for some reason. Alright, well I can trade all the others. TOPS, no. DRYS. Alright, so I can trade DRYS, the only shipping stock I can trade. At least I can trade one of them, And so, that's a bummer, but oh well. ICHR is tradable. OGEN is not tradable. ARWR is. So a lot of these stocks are tradable. I mean, DCIX and TPOS are not tradable. I'm just going to have to jump in on Robinhood with those if I do decide to get in those. And then the only other one that isn't tradable out of my watch list today is OGEN. Everything else is tradable, so got a lot of options today. Can't be too upset, I guess. Good morning, Mark. GPRN. GRPN. Oh yeah, GRPN moving up nice. Big volume spike. Let's see if I can trade this one. I don't know if I like it for a short. I think it's only going to go down to, so I can trade GRPN. I don't know. I don't know. It may be able to drop down to 486 or $5. The biggest reason I'm a little skeptical of it is because it pulled back so much already. It pulled back to 520. And so if it does drop, it's only going to drop to about 5 before it makes another bounce, at least in my opinion. This is all just kind of guesses. But just with this near support and resistance right here, I'm just worried it's not going to fall anymore once it reaches these 2 points. So it's going to be tough to make money with it, but we'll see. Good morning, Mitch. Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if I could pick one, it would probably be DCIX. And I'm really frustrated because TradeNet, it seems like they actively tried to remove some of these stocks. So it's like instead of just leaving the stocks up there for you to trade, it seems like they're actively removing a lot of these, which is very frustrating. DCIX used to be able to, it used to be tradable. You can see it. If you look at the yearly chart, let's see. I was watching this one in November of last year, I think it was. Yeah, when it went up to $30. And so it was tradable back in November of last year on TradeNet, I remember. I'm not sure why it wasn't tradable here. Or why it's not tradable anymore. But watching TripAdvisor for a short, maybe ZAGG. Good morning, Sean. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, just like SureTrader restricts certain stocks, I'm sure they do too. But yeah, watching TRXC as well. This one used to be tradable, I think. Let me see. All right, so this is tradable. So yeah, everything is tradable. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 out of 10, maybe 11. 3 out of 11 stocks are not tradable this morning out of my watch list. I'll go ahead and post my watch list to the chat. This is my watch list. Good morning, MV. Good morning, NYC. All right, so yeah, let's look up why some of these are specifically moving today. First one up is DCIX and the shippers. Let's see why. I think really I think it was earnings. If I kept getting notifications on my Robinhood from Robinhood on my smartphone yesterday afternoon from it saying all these earnings were coming out for certain stocks, and I think I remember it said DCIX was one of them. I can't remember for certain. Let's look it up. Yeah, so Diana Container Ships Inc. reports financial results for the first quarter ended March 31st, 2018, and so it had good results. All right, so it had better results than last year, but it was still a net loss overall. This first quarter, it reported a net loss of 3.9 million, whereas last year's first quarter was a net loss of 7.4 million. So they almost cut the loss in half. And so while it's good news, I'd still be a little bit more short bias with it, but we'll see where DCIX could go. Let's see if there's any catalyst with the other shippers or if they're just following DRYS. Yeah, these are just up on sympathy for DRYS. Or for DCIX, because DRYS and TOPS don't really have any news releases out. And DCIX tends to be kind of the alpha shipping stock. And so because of that, TOPS and DRYS, TOPS and DRYS are both gapping up some. The next one I'm looking at is TripAdvisor. All right, so it says TripAdvisor stock soars after earnings, but analysts remain split on the company's turnaround. All right, so it reported better than expected quarterly results for Tuesday, though none appear to have changed their ratings. All right, so TripAdvisor is up on good earnings. Some people are torn with it. We'll see if it ends up washing some. I'm ultimately looking at it for a short. It's up a pretty big amount, so kind of gives me some opportunity there, I think. ZAGG. All right, so ZAGG posts surprise first quarter profit and revenue beats the street view. So ZAGG, people didn't think that it would be profitable this quarter, I guess. Let me look it up. All right, so yeah, it reported Tuesday a quarter one net income of 24 cents per share compared to a loss of 22 per share in the prior year period. So surprising profit for the first quarter for ZAGG. And the revenue beats the street view, so it was higher than expected. So that's good news for ZAGG. I'm still looking to short it, but definitely good news for it. Next one is TRXC. Nothing's out for TRXC as well. Is this another shipping stock? I'll have to look it up. I don't know what TRXC is. Let me see. Oh, it had something out yesterday. I guess it had better earnings than expected. I'm not sure. Let me look up TOPS. DRYS. Alright, so DRYS had some stuff out on it. I missed it. Sorry about that. So for DRYS, which is the only shipping stock I can actually trade, is up from 365 to 390. Alright, so I guess good earnings for DRYS. That's ultimately up. It says for the first quarter of 2018, the company reported a net income of $0.8 million or 0.01 cent basic and diluted earnings per share. It doesn't really have much to compare it to. Alright, so I guess it was a losing company last year, and so revenue was actually profitable by a penny per share. Alright, so next we're looking at ICHR. Gapping up some as well. I'm guessing a lot of these are earnings plays, kind of earnings season right now. Alright, so let's see. Alright, yeah, so ICHR is up on earnings as well. Good earnings. It's at 25.35 now. It had record revenues and strong growth for the first quarter of 2017, increasing margins and record earnings as well. Net earnings were 63 per diluted share on a GAAP basis and set a new quarterly record of $1.03 per diluted share on an adjusted non-GAAP basis, up 47% quarter over quarter and up 81% from the first quarter of 2017. And so good news for ICHR, good earnings. Next, I'm looking at OGEN. Gapping up a small amount from 159 to 175. This is one of the ones I can't trade on TradeNet, and it doesn't really have any news out on it. Next one I'm looking up is EXTR. Big gap down. Watching this one under 820. Alright, it says Extreme Network stock plunges after another disappointing quarter, but analysts stick to bullish stance. Shares of Extreme Networks Inc. plummeted 27% in pre-market trading Wednesday after the networking company's disappointing earnings report and outlook. But D.A. Davidson analyst Mark Kelleher is sticking to his bullish stance. Kelleher reiterated his buy rating, which he's had on the stock since September of 2016, and his price target of $20, which he had raised from $17 on Monday before the results. Man, it sounds like he's just kind of bag holding this stock and doesn't really want to admit it. I don't know, but that's just what it seems. I mean, this thing's dropping big, bad earnings, bad first quarter, so, you know, we'll see. All right, last one's ARWR. You can see it's gapping up from 775 to 833. And it's got second quarter 2018 results. It's raised to overweight from neutral. It doesn't really say anything about the earnings that came out with ARWR, but just assuming they were decent. Still, some people are saying they're overweight, so we'll see. Maybe look at this one for a short as well, ARWR. And yeah, that's basically what I'm watching today. Alright, I gotta catch up on the chat. What's up, Swarm? Burham? Randy? NYC? Brent? GLBS. Yeah, it looks like a very low floater. Many doubts that I can actually trade this stock. But we'll see, you know. But I still have a lot of options this morning. I guess gonna watch DRYS here. A lot of options though. Definitely looking at a few shorts here. If I could short DCIX, I probably would. Under 250 most likely, down to 225 or 2. Watching TRIP closely for a short here. If it pushes up, gets rejected at 46, maybe when it breaks back under 45, look at it to short down to 44, maybe 43. DRYS, we'll see how it acts at 4. I don't really want to say what I think this one will do. Just because if it breaks 4, it may start running, especially if DCIX does. ZAGG had good earnings and stuff, but watching it under 13. Same thing with ICHR, OGEN. Maybe look for a bounce on OGEN and EXTR. We'll see if this one can maybe rebound some, or if it drops under 820, maybe look to short it. We'll see. TIK, Randy. Yeah, gapping up some, up to 320. Actually has a pretty big range for not having much volume in pre-market this morning. TIK is seriously, it looks very high float, so I doubt I can trade it. Yeah, but I can look to trade it on Robinhood. Let's see. Yeah, maybe look to trade it on Robinhood. But a lot of movers today. Commissions, Mark, are $3 per round trip. If it's 100 shares or so. The more shares you buy, the higher your commissions are. Technically, they're 0.006 cents per share. But if you can't get over 150 per trade, it's automatically 150 per share, or per trade, I'm sorry. So with my sizing, 1 or 200 shares, it's typically $3 for a round trip. So in and out, all for only $3. I had another profitable trade after I ended the stream yesterday. You can see my account was at 180 or 583 yesterday, and now it's up to 587. I shorted RKDA and held it for a long time. You can see I shorted it around 1020 and set a stop loss for over 1060, and luckily it never really broke under it. I shorted it. It got really close a few times right here. I think I shorted it right here when it broke these lows. It got really close to pushing over it, but I held patient, ended up exiting it at about 980, right here. So that made it 4 profitable days in a row. That made it 7 out of 8 of the last trading days have all been profitable, and I've only had 1 losing day in the last week, or 1 losing trade in the last week, I should say. Aside from on TradeNet is what I mean. I did have a losing trade on Robinhood yesterday, but only 1 losing trade on TradeNet in the last week and 2 days. So definitely got my confidence a little bit higher. I know that losing day is going to be here eventually, so I got to understand that. But, you know, my confidence is definitely up there now. I'm pretty excited about it. What's up, Sense? What's up, Swarm, Joshua, Best, Chad? Alright, so got a few movers today. Watching TRIP, looking at it for a potential short. Thanks for the sub, Peter. Welcome, man. Appreciate it. Alright, so let's see if there's anything else I can find. Oh yeah, I'm watching BLNK as well. It was on my watch list yesterday on the video I put out. It ended up dropping so much already though in pre-market that, you know, I was more short biased with it yesterday, but now that it's dropped, I mean, it found a lot of support at 550. You can see it bounced off of there multiple times. And so if it breaks onto there, maybe a good short, but I can't trade it, so not on TradeNet at least. What's up, Sean? Good morning, man. GRPN, Mitch. Yeah, it's starting to bounce some. We'll see. Maybe under, I don't know. See, if I would be short biased with this one, but it could bounce under 5. I mean, it could still end up dropping, you know. But, you know, I like to see really, really big gaps. And while it's a big gap, it may be around 10%. There's a few bigger gappers that I'm watching. Keep an eye on ICHR. Looking to short this one as well. As you see, my favorite setup is usually to short these overextended stocks. That's kind of my go-to setup. Thanks for the sub, Ronald. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. DCIX. You know, it's hard to tell. DCIX is a previous parabolic mover. It broke out and, you know, it ran and it was a parabolic gapper before. It went all the way up to $30 in November of last year. And so because of that, you know, it has the potential to do it again. But usually when I see a stock gap up like DCIX, I'm more short biased with it. Although I can't short this one, I can short DRYS. So we'll see. You know, that's probably the main one I'm going to be watching. Unless DCIX starts to go crazy, I may jump in with a very small share size on Robinhood on the long side. But it all just depends on how it looks at the open. Appreciate. Oh, that's awesome, man. Appreciate the $10 super chat. That's tough to say, Mike. That's an awesome $10 donation, though, man. Appreciate it. If I had $10 to dump into a stock, what would it be? Let me think about it. If really, it just depends. So, would it be? Thanks again so much for that donation, man. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate it. So, are you talking about trading a stock? Or are you talking about like fundamentally investing into a company? Because there's a big difference. If you're talking about day trading, it's all about the setup. You know, if you're talking about fundamentally investing, you know, it's all about earnings and health of the company. And so it all just depends on which route you want to take with the 10,000, you know. If you're talking about, like I said, if you're talking about investing in a company's health, you know, you want to look at the health of the company, you want to look at earnings, you want to look at revenue and stuff like that. Now, if you're talking about day trading, it's essentially just a setup. You know, you want to look for a pattern or a setup. So it all depends. In trading, you know, I don't know if I would say for certain, you know. Really, honestly, Mike, I don't really like to give investment advice. And I always have to say this, I'm not an investment professional. I do not give investment advice for profit. You always have to make your own assessment of the market and trade responsibly. Now, with that being said, you know, what I like to do is I like to find the biggest gap possible and then short it. You know what I mean? So I like shorting it when it breaks the low of the day at the open. And I like to find the biggest gap possible and then shorting it on the way down, usually under some type of mental support and resistance, like a half or whole dollar. But after it breaks under it, I want to see that previous support at the low of the day turn into resistance, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of my go-to setup. Maybe TRIP today is the one I'm looking at to short, or ICHR. It just depends. You really have to wait until the open to see how they're going to act. But what I like to do, like I said, is find the biggest gap possible and then short it. I know, no, I understand, Mike. I appreciate it. Just for liability reasons, I have to say that. Just for liability reasons. I always, if I say that probably a few times every stream, so it's not just you. I always say it just to protect myself. But yeah, I'm looking at TRIP maybe for a short. And this is just for me. What works for me may not work for you. But I'm looking at TRIP up a big amount, looking to short it on the way down, But yeah, like if I'm looking at like fundamentally investing into a company or even swing trading for a few months, Amazon, um, I would say like Microsoft, but I like Amazon more. Google sometimes, um, Amazon, Google maybe. I would say Tesla. I'm not as sold on Tesla. I respect the guy's vision, Elon's vision, but I'm not as sold on Tesla. But for day trading, my favorite go-to setup is just trying to find the biggest gap I can find and then shorting it when it fills some of the gap. So like I'm looking at TRIP for that. ICHR, ZAGG. I would say DCIX, but it's a previous parabolic runner, so I'm a little bit more skeptical of a short on that one. You don't know how to short, Black Mike? Okay, maybe. Well, like the long setups I like are typically like small gaps. Like when I long a stock, it's usually after a very small gap because the bigger the gap, the more overextended it is. And so when I go long on a stock, I'm either looking for a rebound play after a big gap down or a very small gap and then either a washout long at the open or a 1 minute pullback. Yeah, Tesla. I mean, Tesla, it's just, it's not as healthy as the other companies. Like Amazon is right there. Like I like Amazon. You can't go wrong with investing in Amazon, but for the most part, you know what I mean? What's up, Track Racer? I know I do, Randy. I got to get the Nightbot to say the liability statement. I've got it memorized now. I mean, I say it a few times. But yeah, Mike, I appreciate that donation, man. That's awesome. It means a lot, man. I really appreciate it. But yeah, Mike, if you ever need help with anything, message me on Facebook. I'll send you my WhatsApp number and you can text me and I'll try to help you with, if you're new to trading, I'll try to help you as much as possible. So, like I said, if you want my WhatsApp number, I can text you. Just message me on Facebook at facebook.com/beginnertrades. And let me know if you want me to put the link in the chat. But yeah, just message me on Facebook. I'll send you my WhatsApp number. And if you're new, I'll do my best to help you with whatever I can. Um, all right, I'll try to remember, Alan. Um, yeah. So were you long or short in BLNK? I appreciate it, man. That's awesome, man. Thanks, Mike. What's up, Power Zone? What's up, man? Yeah, it's almost time for me to up my sizing. Like, I mentioned it in my watch list video yesterday that, um, you know, after yesterday, that's 4 profitable days in a row with no losing trades on TradeNet. I've had losing trades on Robinhood, but no losing days on TradeNet. And only out of 8 trading days, I've only had 1 losing trade, and the other 7 days were all profitable. And so I definitely have been having some consistency in the last week and a half. And so, you know, it may be kind of that time for me to, take that leap and try to use bigger sizing again. Oh, you were short in BLNK? Yeah, I mean, I think in my watch list video, I actually said I was more short biased with BLNK, but you never know. The only reason I said you got to be careful with it is because if you look at this one, previously it went up to 15, and so I'm always a little bit more weary with, previous parabolic movers. And BLNK was definitely one. It went up from 33 cents to $12, back down to 4, back up to 15. And so, I think I did say in the watch list I was more short biased with it just because it's up so much already, but it's a little risky at the same time to short it just because it could, easily push up and start going crazy again. So what's up, Bogdan? Welcome, man. Appreciate the sub, Mike. Thanks, man. Yeah, I do this every weekday morning from 8:45 a.m. until about 10:15, 10:20, sometimes 10:30 market time. Peter, so shorting it is when you DMP. I've been trading for about 9 months regularly. I've traded for the last 2 years, but only really 9 months regularly since last August. Good morning, Salty. What's up, man? Let's see. Peter, so shorting it is when you're basically betting that the stock will go down. It's essentially borrowing a stock, hoping the stock price will go down. If the stock price goes down, you can sell it back to the original owner of the shares for full price, and you keep the difference. Is technically what shorting is, but it's basically betting that the stock will go down. So like if I jump in ZAGG at 13.70 and it drops down to 13, I make 70 cents per share. So if I buy 100 shares, I make $70. MVIS. Yeah, I heard a few people talking about MVIS. Oh, MVIS is running. I missed this one. I like the volume in MVIS. I doubt I can trade it, but I like the volume. Looks low float. Yeah, I can't trade it. Gonna look at this one on Robinhood. All right, market opens in about 25 minutes. Appreciate the sub, Ben. Welcome, man. All right, so DCIX is starting to creep towards that high of pre-market. It's had a lot of resistance there, but it's testing it now. And so we'll see how DCIX acts at the open. Like I said, this is a previous parabolic mover, but usually when I see a gap like this, I'm usually more short biased with it. We'll see what happens. NOG. Yeah, NOG is up. I think I can trade this one. It's a high float stock. I don't know. No, see, they took NOG off. I used to be able to trade NOG as well. That's aggravating. But we still got a lot of options today, so I can't be too upset. A lot of gappers, a lot of movers that I can trade. What's up, dog? All right, so we got about 2.5 minutes left. OHGI, I believe, is a shipping stock as well. All right, so my son finally went back to school. He stayed home yesterday. I think a few people in the chat talked to him yesterday. But yeah, my son's finally back at school, so I should be able to focus a little bit more today than I would have been able to yesterday. All right, guys, we got about 1 minute and 20 seconds. All right, guys, got less than a minute, about 40 seconds left. Got a few stuff I'm watching. Yeah, DCIX's earnings, so is DRYS. A lot of these gappers are actually good earnings. So we'll see. Gotta be careful. Just anything I say, like, this is all just my opinion. You know, so anything I say, the stock could easily go the other way, as of anything in the stock market. And so just realize that a lot of these, just with gappers, I'm more short biased with it. But it's fairly common to see gappers start to run after the open as well. So just be careful. And open's about to happen right now. Good luck, guys. There's the open. All right, so we got a push on ZAGG starting to run, break the pre-market high at 14. Up to 1460 on ZAGG. Definitely looking a little bullish here. We'll see how it acts at 15. All right, so there goes the wash on TRIP. Watching this one, just broke under 45. EXTR pushing up some. EXTR starting to rebound some here. We'll see. Maybe with the 1 minute pullback setup here, just depends on how it acts around 9. TRXC pushing up some. ICHR running big as well. So a lot of these actually are pushing up. I thought a lot of these would wash, but a lot of them are actually pushing up. TRXC trying to break this 220 pre-market high. What is MVIS doing? I know some people were talking about MVIS. MVIS is washing. See if it bounces off of 150. ARWR having a little washout long here. So a little washout long on ARWR. There's the big push. Beautiful washout long on ARWR. Just kind of missed it. Same thing with TRIP. So a lot of these I was short biased on. They're actually pushing up. So I'm guessing the SPY must be up today. Let me see. SPY's up some. Yeah, the SPY had a washout long on it. Crazy. Look at ARWR move. Big move. Nice, beautiful washout long on ARWR. Just missed it. DCIX is pulling back too, so a lot of this stuff is bouncing back. Very bullish day in the market right now. DCIX washout long as well, up to 290. Kind of watching EXTR, see if it continues downward here under 860. But yeah, a lot of this stuff, to my surprise, a lot of these earnings winners are still pushing up. SPY's trying to bounce back as well. Kind of watching ICHR here. SPY still moving up. SPY starting to run, testing 268. You can see the SPY's looking really strong here, breaking 268 right now. Yeah, one of the biggest things that helps me that has helped me in the last week or so has been waiting for the first few minutes after the open. Before I would just try to jump in right at the open, and lately I've been kind of waiting for the first 10 or 15 minutes to pass before I jump into anything. DCIX looking strong. EXTR looking, look at this. EXTR bounced all the way back. Testing 9 now. Very choppy day for EXTR. Look at this choppiness. Up to the high of the day, down to the low of the day, back up, breaking the high of the day. So super choppy. Let's see what else. Same thing with MVIS. Dropped all the way down to 150, bouncing back up. ARWR has just been on a massive run though. Yeah, Dane, I don't know if it is or not, man. A lot of bullish setups right now in the market. A lot of long setups. The only one I'm looking at, maybe TRXC under 2. If it breaks under 2 and then holds a support, I'll watch TRXC for a short. But everything else, I mean, unless ICHR breaks under 2550 and holds that area as resistance once it breaks under it, you know, there's a lot of bullish stocks right now. So it's kind of tough. That's why I always say I don't like to try to guess what will happen. I mean, I know I kind of give my analysis in my watch list videos, but I much prefer to just try to react to what I see happen at the open instead of trying to predict. It's really tough to predict exactly what a stock will do, at least especially in pre-market. So I like to try to wait until the open happens. And so we'll see what happens with some of these. TRIP I'm still watching. The SPY is up to 268, but it got rejected. And so I think a lot of these are following the bullishness of the SPY. Especially, like, you could see a lot of stocks having a washout long this morning. And that's the SPY did a washout long. Like, the SPY dropped to 267.50 and then bounced all the way up to 268. Alright, so I'm watching EXTR here, maybe for a long setup as well. But a lot of bullish setups right now. So I'm looking for EXTR to bounce off of this 890 level. If it could bounce off of 890 and then break 9 again, I may look to go long on EXTR. Gonna give it some time. SPY's starting to wash pretty strong here. So this might kind of change the setup on a lot of these stocks. You can see the SPY starting to drop. Look at this wash on the SPY. It's broke the low of the day just now, so I think a lot of stocks are going to start following it. A very quick drop in the SPY. Testing the low now. So some of these stocks should start following it as well. BLCM, look at that crazy move on BLCM. ICHR, keep an eye on this one. DRYS is one I'm looking at for a potential short. Especially if it holds this area as resistance. Alright, there's the bounce on EXTR. Man, I missed the beautiful short on DRYS. You can see it broke under the lows, held it as support, and then continued falling. The biggest FOMO I had today is right now on DRYS so far. Look at this drop. A little bit too late now. but that's kind of what I wanted. Down to 373. Man, was about to jump in with 100 shares. Would have been up $15 maybe. So missed the boat with that one. ICHR is what I'm watching now. ICHR is breaking under these lows. So now with ICHR, I'd like to see preferably, I'd like to see it push up, test this previous high at 25.50, get rejected. I'll short it on the way down. But man, look at this drop on DRYS. Called it out, didn't take advantage of it. So there's ICHR testing that previous high of the day. PXS, Mitch. DCIX washing all the way back down to 250. PXS trying to run. GLBS had a little bit of a push. Yeah, the short I should have taken was DRYS. I hesitated a little bit too much. Man, look at APRN. Huge drop. Yeah, I'm just kind of patiently waiting. Wait to see something I really like. I like DRYS. I just didn't take advantage of it. Called it out though. Trade idea was correct. So now I'm just kind of waiting. Waiting to see what some of these big gappers are doing. A lot of them are just very choppy right now, going sideways. Like TRIP, ICHR, MVIS is going sideways. ARWR is pulling back some. Maybe look for a dip buy in ARWR here. Especially right around 9. Crazy move on ARWR. See ya, Swarm. Yeah, just gotta wait for a good setup. Maybe thinking about dip buying ARWR. We'll see though. The SPY is very choppy today. Most of these stocks are very choppy. You can see TRXC choppy. TRIP is choppy. DRYS is not choppy, but we'll watch that. The SPY is choppy. ICHR, DCIX. They're all mostly choppy stocks today. DCIX is shortable on SureTrader. That's surprising. It depends on what the price of the stock is, though. What is DCIX? I don't know. DCIX is at 267. So yeah, I think isn't the rule if it's under 3, you can only use 2 to 1 margin? All right, so looking at EXTR, TRIP. LBIX. Yeah, we'll see if we get some volume in. MTCH, look at this gap fill. This would have been a nice setup. TRIP, surprising me here. I was more short biased on this one than I think all of them. And you can see this one's starting to run. Breaking the high of the day. Surprising for sure. MRO starting to push up. All right, so here's an interesting level with Match.com. You can see it had some support here at 35, right around 36, 35.75 or so. All right, so you can see all the support this one's had at 35 and yeah, right around 35. So we'll see how it acts there. If it breaks that, maybe a good short. DCIX starting to wash. Testing 250. DRYS. Yeah, I'm just waiting for everything to get out of this kind of chop fest it's in right now. A lot of choppiness. PI. And a nice little push. GRPN, look at this one. But yeah, everything's been kind of choppy. MTCH is washing strong here though. Match.com. SPY's trying to break the high here. You see the SPY starting to run. Trying to break that 268 high, and with that, a lot of these other stocks are going to start pushing, I think. Yeah, I'm surprised. A lot of these I was more short biased with just because the gap was so big, but ZAGG pushing up, TRIP pushing up. That's kind of why I like to just react to what I see at the open, just because it's really hard to predict what it's going to do in pre-market. Most of the time, I would say, though, these big overextended stocks end up failing. But today is a different day. You know, today they didn't want to fail. All right, so still kind of waiting. NCTY halted. Man, look at NCTY, crazy mover. Went from 1 to 250 in about, what is that, 15 minutes, 10 minutes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 minutes. And it's resumed. It's up to 266. Testing 250 now. Up to 280. NCTY, crazy runner. EXTR just died on volume. OHGI trying to push here. Up to $3 on NCTY. Up to 323, 325. It's going to get halted again, I think. TTOO. I don't think I can trade TTOO. No, unfortunately I can't trade it. Appreciate it though. Appreciate you looking out, but unfortunately I can't trade that one. Yeah, I think one of the reasons I've been so successful in the last week and a half is because I've been patiently waiting for like the perfect, not the perfect setup, but I've been waiting for my favorite setups. Before I would just kind of blindly jump in, where it's like now I kind of, you know, although my streamers might not like it as much, I try to wait for the good setups that I like the most. MLNT. Yeah, this one might be a gap fill under 828 or 826. It's a big spread. Got a little bit better just now. Honestly, I watched ICHR for a short now. Maybe looking to short this one now. Right around 26, especially if it gets rejected. We'll see, the market's been, the SPY itself has been very, very choppy. Spread on ICHR is not too bad, I guess, but it's not great. TRIP trying to break the high of the day again here, trying to get over 47.50. Yeah, I'm kind of looking to short ICHR. Yeah, although it may not be as exciting watching me wait for a lot of these moves, I think it's ultimately the best thing for trading. I think my impatience is what's kind of gotten the best of me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and short ICHR here. Very small share size, 20 shares. I'll try to let it work. If it breaks over this 2609 level, I'm just going to jump out of it. And I'll just try to let it work, see if it can come down under the low of the day again. We'll see. Yeah, the reason I like it is because it's a very obvious resistance area. If it breaks 26, and especially the high right here at 26.08, then I can just jump out. Looking at EXTR here as well. Trying to get over 9, just couldn't do it. Volume's starting to come down some. LC. Yeah, LC. Wow, I missed this one as well. Look at this run on LC. DCIX bouncing back. It's just, look how choppy the market is right now. That's the biggest kind of red flag I see in the market today, is just look how choppy it is. DCIX back up to 324, back down to the low, back up to 3. So choppy. I mean, you could take advantage of that channel, but very choppy. Look at the SPY itself. SPY's back and forth from 268 to 267.50 over and over again. Yeah, you know, you can play, if you get bored, you know, you can play Minesweeper. If you look here, if you ever get bored trading on Thinkorswim, you can go ahead and play Minesweeper, you know. If you're ever bored, you know what I mean? You can play Tetris if you want. Although I haven't been able to figure out how to start Tetris yet. But you can play that stuff if you ever get bored, guys. Get some Tetris going. Alright, so there's a small drop on ICHR. I'm going to try to hold this one, let it drop under the low, preferably, if it can get there. Big drop. There we go. There's a nice drop on ICHR down to 250. Nice. See if we can crack under it for a second. Bouncing some. SPY's dropping again. SPY's testing the low of the day, as you can see on the top left. Yeah, man, I'm just messing around, just showing you can play games on Thinkorswim. I always thought that was cool. All right, so we'll see. ICHR bouncing here. Maybe should have just taken it off at 25.50. Obvious resistance or support level, so I probably should have paid attention to that and just jumped out, but oh well. There's a ugly bounce for me. Well, that's gross, man. It goes from bouncing off at 25.50 back up to 25, almost 26. So very quick bounce in ICHR. I'm going to follow my plan, let my stop loss be 26.09. If it breaks that, I'll jump out of it. OPK. I know I was watching OPK yesterday. And OPK ended up going on a big run as well. SPY bouncing back now. Just so much choppiness in the market today. And Wednesdays historically have been my cursed day trading. Usually, very rarely do I ever have profitable days on Wednesday. So I guess if I'm going to break my green streak, I guess it should be a Wednesday. Yeah, man, I don't know what it is about Wednesday. I mean, I could blame it on my daughter and choir, but my daughter didn't go to choir today. And so I actually woke up and got enough sleep last night. So I think it's just Wednesdays are just my cursed day. You know, Wednesdays are my kryptonite for some reason. I appreciate the sub, Circle. Appreciate it, man. And regardless of what happens today, like I said, the last 7 out of 8 trading days have all been profitable, and so losing days are going to happen. My confidence is still pretty high up there, just because of how the last week and a half has been. Watching EXTR here. Starting to try to break this high of the day. The market's just so choppy. You can see the SPY, and most stocks follow the SPY. DCIX bouncing all the way back here, so it seems like today's a little bit tougher day to trade. You can see DCIX. You can't really tell when anything's going to do. A lot of times they're bouncing off of the lows of the day. I've seen a lot of stocks do that. And so it's really tough to trade. Some examples are DCIX bouncing off of 250 all the way back up to 310. MVIS bouncing off of 150. What else? I know I saw a few other ones. NCTY. Yeah, we'll see if it holds support at 3. I can't trade NCTY, unfortunately. And I mean, yesterday with my RKDA short, I kind of held it through like what ICHR is doing today. So I'll let it work a little bit. You can see, but the difference being is that RKDA was weak all day for the most part. It just bounced some. Yeah, I got in at 1020, so right here. And I let it bounce up to 1052. Yeah, insurance, man. Nice job today, bro. But yeah, today it's been the opposite for me, man. I haven't seen much I like, but obviously I'm more short biased with it. I like getting in shorts better than longs, and so today's definitely not the day for shorts. The only good short I saw all day was DRYS. Aside from that, nothing else really moved like I wanted it to. DCIX faking people out, dropping down to 250, bouncing right back up to the high of the day. That's when you can tell a stock's not reliable on that day, is if it does that, man. NCTY. Yeah, I like a short, especially if it gets rejected at 3. But as you could probably see, most of the patterns that I like are not working today. So some days it's just not going to be my day. That's rough, unknowns. You'll bounce back, man. Yeah, hey, it happens, man. Some days we're all gonna do good. Some days we're gonna do bad, man. Like I said, usually I hate losing, but you know, I knew I couldn't keep the green streak growing forever, although I could try. And so it's okay if I lose. You know, losing days are gonna happen, man. And so yeah, losing days are gonna happen, and that's okay. You know. I mean, right as I say that, though, ICHR is dropping down to 25.80. We'll see how low it can get. All right, so I'm watching the bid. The bid is at 25.80. The ask's at 25.84. So keeping an eye on those. Let's see if I can find anything else that's really moving right now. RGNX spiking some. CLVS, DO. PI trying again. All right, so NCTY is breaking over 306. PSTG. A WEN dropping under this low. I like this. Maybe down to, I don't know. We'll see if it gets rejected at 1650. If it can't push back over 1650, I'll consider a short. ICHR is right back up. And there's a bounce right back on ICHR. Super choppy right now. So we'll see if this gets rejected. WEN gets rejected at this $0.50. I'll consider it for short if it does. But yeah, guys, I'm probably going to go ahead and close the stream down now. It is 10:12 market time. I actually have to go to the restroom, so I'm going to set a stop loss for this ICHR trade at 26.09. I think that's where I want to stop out. 26. Yeah, maybe 26.10. And I'll let it work. Hopefully it'll work out for me, but set a safety stop there. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close the stream down now. If you haven't already and you want to watch me day trade live every weekday morning, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I go live at 8:45 a.m. and I stream until about 10:15, 10:30 market time, just depending on how long. And so yeah, guys, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Shout out to Mike for the $10 donation. I really appreciate it, man. That's awesome. Thanks for the support, man. And yeah, guys, good luck for the rest of the day. And if you haven't already, and if you want to do me a favor and you like watching me day trade live every weekday morning, hit the like button right now on this video. It definitely helps support us, and I appreciate any support I can get, guys. So if you could click the like button, I consider it a favor, and I appreciate it if you do. But yeah, guys, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll let you know how this trade goes in my watch list video. Not super confident in it now, but we'll see. Market's been really choppy today. And so if there was going to be a losing day, I guess it should be Wednesday. But yeah, guys, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll see you all tomorrow, and thanks for watching. Have a good day, everyone.